间的歌，才懂得相互拥抱到底是为了什么。因为我刚好遇见你，留下足迹太美丽，风吹花落泪如雨，因为不想分离。因为刚好遇见你，留下思念的期许。如果再相遇，我想我会记得你。我们哭了，我们笑着，我们抬头望天空，星星还亮着几颗，我们唱着时间的歌，才懂得相互拥抱到底是为了什么。因为好遇见你，留下足迹太美丽，风吹花落泪如雨，因为不想分离。因为刚好遇见你，留下思念的期许。如果再相遇，我想我会记得你。因为我刚好遇见你，留下足迹太美丽，风吹花落泪如雨，因为不想分离。因为刚好遇见你，留下思念的期许。如果再相遇，我想我会记得你。因为我刚好遇见你，留下足迹太美丽，风吹花落泪如雨，因为不想分离。因为刚好遇见你，留下思念的期许。如果再相遇，我想我会记得你。
Baby, your body got me so confused. I like the way it moves. I'll show you something good. Let me get close to you, close to you. I lost my mind. I want you to be mine. I'm hypnotized when I look into your eyes. I wanna be your girl. Do you like me? Do you like me, my boy? I wanna be your girl. So baby, please take all my love. Baby, I swear to you, my love is true. I wanna spend the nights with you. I'll show you something good. Let me get close to you, close to you. I lost my mind. I want you to be mine. I'm hypnotized when I look into your eyes. I wanna be your girl. Do you like me? Do you like me, my boy? I wanna be.
저 별은 하늘에서 날아와 넌 내 맘 다 훔쳤어 데려나 황금빛 태양보다 더 빛나 머물러줘 넌 나만의 천사 백스완 같은 너는 내 안에 불을 지펴놓고 떠나 타줄게 너의 날개짓에 나는 홀려버렸어 지금 나의 손이 너에게 더 많이 넓디 넓은 지구에 너 없인 전부 지루해 있으면 밝혀줘 넌 나의 그대 빛을 밝혀해 어두웠던 내 삶에 넌 빛을 밝혀해 함께 걸어갈래 이 거친 길 넌 나의 태양 넌 나의 등불 내 삶을 밝혀해 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 넌 나의 태양 넌 나의 등불 어둠을 밝혀해 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 불빛을 밝혀해 넌 지금 나를 밝혀 그 빛을 따라가는 출처 이 어둠을 환하게 바꿔 굳게 닫힌 문을 다시 열어 나만의 오션 넌 날 밝히네
So baby please take all my I wanna be your girl. I wanna be your girl. I wanna be your girl. Do you like me? Do you like me? I wanna be your girl. So baby please take all my love.
What's an assault rifle?
Like one of them really large guns.
Let me ask you, are you aware of what the differentiation is between automatic and semi-automatic?
No.
People either have the right to protect themselves or they don't. And there is no data to say that stripping people of the right to self-protection would make us safer. So for this week's installment of Change My Mind, we decided to revisit the very topical issue of gun control and the Second Amendment. Matter of fact, we returned to UT Dallas where we conducted our last segment on this topic to see if anything had changed.
And I don't want nobody. And I don't want
Now, we're going to get to the two fully unedited interviews in a second. That's the whole purpose of Change My Mind, to see what real conversations in real time, how they unfold. But two things that really struck me first. Number one, in a day full of conversations, it seemed that none of the even highly educated students knew anything about basic proper firearm classifications or terminology.
Well, I know fully automatic is the one that is like restricted.
Or an assault rifle. Like, why does someone need that?
Or an assault rifle, or an automatic machine gun, or
ARs. The same assault rifle that was used in the recent Florida shooting.
And two, everyone wanted to talk about Florida, obviously, but shockingly, not a single student, not one, had ever heard of the far deadlier Sutherland Springs shooting, which took place in their own backyard. Remember the Sutherland Springs shooting? That was right here in Texas. Mm-hmm. You know what happened there, right? Does the name Stephen Williford mean anything to you?
No.
Do you remember the Sutherland Springs shooting? No. Does the name Stephen Williford mean anything to you? Mm-hmm. Okay. You remember the Sutherland Springs shooting?
I've heard of it. Just now with the other girl.
From me?
Yeah, from you.
Absolutely terrifying. How could they not know of a shooting with 26 deaths, another 20 injured, which occurred only 4 hours away, in which the shooter was stopped by an NRA-certified instructor with an AR-15, a national hero, mind you, Stephen Williford. But I repeat myself. On with the conversations. Okay, so what was your name again?
Mawad.
Mawad.
Yes.
All right. Mawad. I've asserted my position, I think, hopefully pretty clearly. Mm-hmm. Changed my mind.
So what do you think about Australia? 1996.
What about Australia?
When they
the buyback?
Yeah.
I think it's terrible.
Really? Mm-hmm. Why?
I think a gun ban stripping citizens of the right to protect themselves, I think that's an immoral act.
But I mean, what if you look at the statistics behind that?
Mm-hmm.
The decline of, shootings, deaths by gun, it's probably much less than we have per day here. No, what?
No, it didn't have a statistical effect on violent crime or even gun crime. Matter of fact.
Then what about the online articles that say
suggest
otherwise?
We've written plenty of them as well over at loudwithkyler.com. Mm-hmm. And something even more fascinating, there's an overall decrease in violent crime. There's an overall decrease often in gun crime. Mm-hmm. And in New Zealand, where they didn't have a mandatory buyback, mm-hmm. you saw the same kind of overall trends. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's horrible. I think we both admit it's a ban.
Okay.
Was it right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was considered a buyback, which has been proposed here. It was a mandatory buyback. Mm-hmm. So that's a gun ban. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question to you would be, would you like to do that in the United States?
I would love to be honest, personally.
Just ban guns?
Honestly, I understand it's fun shooting a gun. I've been to a gun range before. There's a nice adrenaline feeling when you're shooting at a target, and it's just satisfying when you hit the middle of the target. And it's just like any other sport, sure, per se, but I feel like we would gain so much more as a country in the long run if you're thinking of the bigger picture, like less possibilities of psychos killing people like in Las Vegas, or just most recently where 17 people died in a school.
Right.
I mean, honestly, if I were to give up my favorite hobby, playing soccer, if that meant that hundreds of people wouldn't die, I would gladly do it any day because I love my country that much.
Great. What do you believe the Second Amendment is about?
The right to bear arms, to protect yourself, and that's pretty much what I know. I'm really ignorant on this, if I'm honest. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to be contentious, but you mentioned it as a hobby. Mm-hmm. So, the First Amendment.
Okay.
Right? The right to freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that's absolute? Do you believe that you should have the right to speak freely without having that be infringed upon by the government?
Definitely.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And why do you believe that?
Because just being able to express your beliefs publicly and having that as, a freedom is essential to the development of democracy in a country. And
but where do you get that from?
in what sense? Like, what do you mean?
Well, where do you get the right to the freedom of speech? You said you believe that is fundamental. You believe that that's very important to a democracy or to like a constitutional republic. I just gave you a hint there in that.
It's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So your right to freedom, because the freedom of speech is not absolute. It doesn't exist across many other countries, including free countries, including Australia. By the way, you don't have the right to free speech in Australia.
Okay.
So you believe the right to freedom of speech is absolute because of the Constitution, the First Amendment. Amendment number 2 is what?
The right to bear arms.
Okay.